I'll be happy when I get married. I'll be happy when I'm single. I'll be happy when I have kids. I'll be happy when the kids grow up and move out. I'll be happy when I get that job. I'll be happy when I can retire. I'll be happy when I have a lot of money. I have all the money I need, and yet I'm still not happy. At times in my life, I've said those things. How about you? I see some nods. So if happiness isn't a when, what is it? Well, in my search for happiness, I discovered that it's an inside job. It's not out there, it's in here. So I'd like to introduce you to 4 principles for happiness. They're habits that you can adopt, and they are resilience, optimism, accountability, and resourcefulness. The first habit for happiness is resilience. What is resilience? HeartMath Institute Research Center defines resilience as the capacity to prepare for, recover from, and adapt in the face of stress, adversity, trauma, and challenge. We all have experienced stress, adversity, trauma, and challenge. I recently suffered a significant loss in my life. A relationship that was so rich, so vital, that when it was abruptly and unexpectedly taken away, time stood still. My traumatized heart flickered back and forth between feeble flutters and pounding so hard that it was visible to bystanders. I felt that I was going to die, and I didn't really care. And yet, my numbed mind, where it could not find a reason to continue, somehow kept pulling me onto life, pulling me back so that I would recover and so that I would become more resilient. So, how does that happen? Is resilience something that you're born with? Is it something that you might have and your neighbor might not? Is it a genetic lottery? Resilience, we all have the opportunity many times. You would think that we would just simply be able to grow resilience because we have to live life. We live life on a daily basis, and we get ample opportunities to try to recover from painful experiences, but it doesn't really work that way. Resilience must be stored up in order to be withdrawn from when you go through your individual traumatic traumas and challenges. So how do you do that? You have the opportunity to do that by breathing, believe it or not. Breathing deeply into your belly and holding a heartfelt feeling of optimism, happiness, and gratitude. When you do feel these opportunities for resilience, you'll find that you can do other things, like service to others will build your resilience muscle. So service to others, when you're serving somebody else, you get this perspective shift. Have you ever gone out and you notice and you think, oh, heavens, thank goodness that's not me? You get that shift in your perspective, and it also creates a feeling of compassion and empathy for other people. So the next habit for happiness is O for optimism. W. Clement Stone, a very successful businessman and a New Thought leader, had a saying that he used all the time. It was, believe the universe is out to do you good. We all know people who are cheerful and optimistic in spite of their circumstances. I have a good friend who has been in a wheelchair for the past 25 years, unable to move most of her body. And my son's wrestling coach lost both of his legs at age 6. And yet they are among the most cheerful and happy people I have ever known. How do they do that? Are they like totally delusional? Don't they know that they got a raw deal? And why aren't they all gloomy and depressed? Well, when I talk about optimism, I'm talking about making the deliberate, intentional choice to be happy and feel gratitude every single day. Because happiness really is a choice. The next habit for happiness is A, for accountability. Jack Canfield, the author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books and the Success Principles, defines accountability as the willingness to accept responsibility for your thoughts and actions. What does that look like in your life? It means that there's no griping, no whining, and no complaining. It means that when you're presented with the stimulus of whatever's going on in your world, that you make the choice on how to respond to it. And then you learn how to deal with the consequences of your choices, good or bad. It means that you don't tell yourself rational lies in order to justify doing something that you know is wrong. It means that if you do something wrong, that you own it and then fix it the best that you can. We cannot choose everything that happens to us, but we can absolutely choose how we respond to it. The fourth happiness principle is R for resourcefulness. The universe is incredibly abundant. Everything that you could ever imagine or ever want is really here in some form or another. You just need to become aware of it. So how do you do that? How do you become aware of it? Well, imagine that you wanted to buy a new red car. You're really excited about this new red car because nobody else that you know has one like it. So you go to the dealership and you buy the car and you drive off the lot, and as you're driving down the road with your new car, you look around and you begin to see a whole bunch of red cars that look exactly like yours. Well, how did that happen? Did they just suddenly materialize? No, they didn't materialize. You are just now aware that they are there. There's something that's called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, which talks about when you have seen something that you've never seen something before, you often begin encountering it everywhere. How many times have you gone to the airport to discover that the lady in the row next to you is wearing the same shirt you are? Those things happen all the time. We become aware of those things that happen. So the secret to happiness is learning to roar, to have resilience, optimism, accountability, and resourcefulness. Now, some traumas take longer than others to work through. My trauma, I'm still working through. I still feel the grieving. I'm still moving through that process. But I have discovered how vitally important it is for me to practice my roar every single day, to be resilient, optimistic, accountable, and resourceful. And I have a practice that I do that I'd like to share with you, and I would like for you to play with me too. So please stand up. Everybody stand up. Plant your feet firmly on the ground. And put your arms up. Try not to hit your neighbor. Expand your lungs and open your throat. This is important. Do not hurt yourself. Okay, and on the count of 3, we're all going to roar. I want you to actually roar, okay? So 1, 2, 3, roar. Okay, that was pretty good, but I want to hear you do it again. Let's get a little bit more in there, okay? 1, 2, 3, roar. Awesome, thank you. Please sit down. How do you feel? Notice the energy that's moving through your body. Notice that you feel tingly and energetic, and that's optimism. That is resourcefulness and accountability, and that is resilience. When you and I practice that, and also reach out to others with love and compassion, we can heal the world and finally find the happiness we've been seeking. Thank you.